Hey friends, I'm E.
And I'm Neeko.
And last year we lived in Vietnam. We spent about half the year in the big city of Hanoi and the other in the small beach town of Hoi An. Along the way, we visited some pretty cool places and met some even cooler people. Here are our stories. Today we are talking about our trip to Ha Long Bay with a very special guest, I may add. Who?
Mama D.
Mama D, my mama.
Donna Mama. Mama Donna. Mama D. Love you, Mama D.
But unfortunately, at this point in our filmmaking career, we were very new and had no idea what we were doing, and so there are absolutely zero shots of my mother.
Of Mama D.
So she's there, but
not really.
You won't see her here.
Yeah. But she was there, we promise. We're not just making it up. But yeah, this is the second to last video that's going to be done in this format where we're kind of talking over and reminiscing on what we did. And then after Fulong, which is after this, it's going to be more of on-site, in-the-moment videos because we finally figured out what we were doing. But if you've been tagging along for the couple videos that we have posted, thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate you hanging around. Let's get back to it. Anyways, since we were traveling with my mom, we wanted to make sure that we went full luxury on this trip.
Mama D deserves the best.
Oh yeah. And Ha Long Bay was at the very top of her must-dos while in Vietnam. So we wanted to make this trip super easy, relaxing, but still a little bit adventurous. Anyways, we booked the cruise with Azalea Cruises?
Yeah, Azalea Cruises. And I will say this, for the love of limestone mountains, if you're going to book a cruise, make sure it is as long as physically possible.
Yeah, minimum 2-night stay, 3-day tour. But anyways, other options, you can always stay on Cat Ba. You can just do day trips from Hanoi. There's really a million ways to travel Ha Long Bay. We just decided to do the luxurious route.
Especially because they offer pickup services.
Yes. The car ride to the boat was absolutely a breeze. Comparing it to our other trips where we were riding in rain with backpacks falling off our bikes and all this other stuff, this was just easy.
And after a pretty quick ride, like 3 to 4 hours, we got to like a dock or like a pier type situation where they check you into the boat. And then you take this little almost like tugboat ferry thing over to the cruise ship. And it's really cool because you get farther and farther away from the city, and just like you really start to realize how isolated and how much beauty you're about to be in.
Yeah, as you get closer and closer to the actual cruise ship, the limestone mountains and islands actually start to get bigger and bigger as you get further out into the bay, which is just really cool to see that transition. And then once you get on the boat, at least with our cruise, we were showered with welcomings. Showered. They literally had like a welcoming committee waving at us as we entered the boat. They had a guy showering down rose petals as we walked up the stairs. They had cocktails waiting for us the minute we entered into the dining room. And they had a very funny and sarcastic French captain? Capitaine.
So after the captain gave us the little breakdown of what we were going to expect for the next 2 days, we were given the opportunity to completely stuff our faces at an all-you-can-eat buffet. A bountiful buffet.
You could go up as many times as your heart desired, and we did that.
Yeah, after we stuffed our faces, they sent us onto our rooms, and guys.
Wow, and we have our own tub. Oh my Lanta. Mom, you have your own tub. The rooms did not let us down. I had looked at I don't know how many cruises before we chose Azalea Cruise, and I compared what was in the room to the prices, to the itineraries, and one thing I wanted really badly was a really nice bathtub with a full view of Ha Long Bay. And Azalea Cruises had that with a family-style bedroom where Nick and I had our own room, our own bathroom, our own windows, our own balcony. And then there was a little door that connected to my mom's room where she had all of that for herself as well. So she had her privacy and we had ours, but she was just one little knock away from hanging out with us. It was perfect.
So after checking in and kind of gawking over the rooms and jumping on the bed multiple times, which it is not an understatement to say that finding comfortable beds in Vietnam is incredibly hard.
Yeah, and these were nice beds.
These were nicer than the beds we had at our apartment in Vietnam. So, yeah.
King size.
King size.
Lovely. Ooh.
Anyway, after doing all of that, we were given an option. We could either stay on the boat and do as we please and just chill, or
we could go venture to Kappa Island and explore a very, very, very old cave high up in the mountain. Obviously, I chose that because duh. And what did you choose?
I chilled on the boat.
Yeah.
Vietnamese economy. So this is a strategic place to take over when someone wants to invade Vietnam. Many people tried, very few succeeded. And during the war times, especially against the French and after the USA, this island was occupied by the Vietnamese army, by the North Vietnam army. And they was using the caves, some as hospital. This cave was not a hospital, they just used to carry supplies, ammunitions, and stay hidden from the planes. Yes.
Ready for this cave? Oh, that's awful close. So I apologize if that footage was extra bad. It was on me to record it, and I am not a videographer. I am solely a photographer, and that is it. So
And many more beautiful things.
Thanks. Anywho, the cave was definitely worth the venture. It was high up in the mountains, like I said. You had to climb up some stairs through this beautiful, like, jungly forest. And then you had to climb down through about 300 meters through the mountain to the opening of the cave. After the cave, we went to the Jungle Bar, which was just a bar out in the middle of trees in the jungle. And we had a couple of drinks and talked to people on our tour and hung out and just relaxed for a little bit before we headed back to the boat to see what this guy was up to.
So I have to just say, when they kind of promoted the cave, they didn't say any of that.
Of course not. You're not going to give it away.
Yeah, I just feel like I might have gone, but I don't regret it because once the girls came back to Relaxation Station, we just chilled.
Station. Yeah. Relaxation Station was the top deck of the boat where there was a bunch of lawn chairs and us and our drinks and relaxation.
But that relaxation did not last long because pretty soon we were doing this. That's my girlfriend.
Although everyone was invited to jump off the back of the boat into the bay, I think it was pretty much just us, and then one guy and his mom came to join as well. They actually were on the shuttle bus with us, and so they just introduced themselves. The guy jumped in with us, and we were swimming and having a great time. And swimming in the bay was just super cool because the limestone mountains were even bigger from that perspective, and we really just felt like little fish in a big pond. So I highly recommend it if you ever go on a cruise.
Yeah, it's weird that more people didn't jump in because I mean it's sunset time, the sun's setting, and you feel like you're in a movie. Like it's just it really is just crazy that we're allowed to do that. But anyway, after that beauty, we decided to go into the room and get ready for the happy hour. And before we started showering, we actually saw a woman on a boat coming up to our window to sell us some beers.
Yes, she carries like beers and snacks and other goodies on her boat, and she rows and rows around to different boats and cruises and offers to sell her goods. So Neeko, being Neeko, had to buy some.
Ui, come on.
Cảm ơn.
Come here, hang up play. Ooh,
Cảm ơn anh. Hoài.
pretty.
Why?
Nah, come on, come on.
Cảm ơn anh.
Ah, come on, hi.
Không vớt được.
But yeah, so then we headed to happy hour, and the mother and son joined us, and we were all just kind of hanging, taking in the view, and then after like, 3 drinks, because it was 2 for 1.
If you can tell, we've basically just drank the whole first day. That's kind of what the main activity was.
Yeah. So after a couple of drinks in, we all started chatting a lot more, getting a lot more
Some
fluid.
truths came
And
out.
unfortunately, the mother had to just share some unfortunate information.
Unfortunately.
Very unfortunate. So, like we said before, they were on the shuttle bus with us. And so the mom admitted that when she first saw the 3 of us, she thought we were a family, that Nick and I were brother and sister.
Which, to clarify, we're not.
Until she saw us kiss. Which is just so
Yeah, that's always fun.
uncomfortable. Imagine watching that. No, brother and sister. Ow.
Guess Americans do it differently. They're Australian.
Luckily, we got to talk to them and explain that we are in fact not brother and sister. And yeah. So after that very awkward, but I have to admit, funny conversation, they started what was definitely my favorite part of the night, the cooking class.
Yeah, so the cooking class, I was just thinking about the spin rolls. So the cooking class was led by our boy Martini.
Martini.
And if you go on Azalea cruises, please look for Martini. He's
Yes.
a bartender and kind of seemed like higher up, somewhat of a manager. And he led the cooking class. And he lives up to the name Martini.
Yes, he is hilarious, and he led a very fun cooking class. It was quite short because all we did was fry up some spring rolls, but a couple volunteers were allowed to roll and fry their own. This gal.
And a couple of non-volunteers
Did
were
it.
allowed to eat the ones that their girlfriend made. This guy.
While we were frying up our appetizers, I'm not gonna do the hand things. I always do. I know. I'm always throwing finger guns. While we were frying up our appetizers, the rest of the staff was setting up for dinner. The dinner was out on the top deck, under the stars, right after the sunset, so there was still a little bit of light in the sky. It was beautiful.
Yeah, totally agree. That I'm literally getting goosebumps just thinking about it. That was one of the most beautiful moments we've had in Vietnam, at least in my opinion. And we're usually not much of structure people, but having the cruise line kind of plan out when dinner is, when the pregame is, when the cooking class is, it really goes a long way with adding a bit of carelessness and elegance to the luxury cruise. It was so nice getting pampered, guys.
Yeah. They offered 3 different meals, I think. There were like 3 options, 1 vegetarian, 2 non-vegetarian. But I don't remember exactly all the dishes. All I remember was my mom's dish. Nick and I were still vegetarian at the time. And I'm so mad. Anyway, she ordered the lamb chops.
They look good.
They were tasty. I took a bite. I was a really bad vegetarian. But
Still are.
it was a luxurious meal.
And even Mama D said she liked the lamb chops because you guys might not notice, but she's a trained chef and E's the daughter of a trained chef. So when they tell me that food is good, I kind of just agree because that says a lot.
after all those drinks that we had the night before,
All
the
those
day
drinks.
before,
A moderate amount.
we somehow managed to wake up not that hungover
Drinking game
and
strong. Hydration before bed.
early enough to have our morning coffee out on the balcony, out on the balcony, enjoying the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful view. It was incredible. We were just lying in bed or sitting on the balcony, and there was just huge floating islands just right by. It was amazing.
Yeah.
E-
Go ahead.
and we made it in time for the
Tai Chi class,
Tai Chi class.
which I did not participate in.
I participated with my mom for about 2 minutes, and then I realized that Tai Chi is too slow. My crazy mind was like, no way.
Yeah, I actually love Tai Chi, and I used to do it a lot, but I got a little hungover. I always have like a delayed hangover, so that's not why I didn't do it. But I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, give it a try.
Relaxing
give
as
it a
hell.
good old try. But instead, Nick and I just stood on the top deck and again just took in the views. You really can't get enough of it. I know we keep repeating ourselves, but that is how beautiful.
Limestone mountains.
After Tai Chi, we had some breakfast and we got ready for our kayaking trip.
Breakfast buffet. Every single meal, other than the dinner, is a buffet. Just have to say that.
And they served plenty with dinner. I think it was like an appetizer, salad, dinner,
Oh,
dessert,
your boy was stuffed.
full serve.
Yeah. Yeah. But we were thinking during breakfast, we're like, wow, literally everything on our list has been check marked. Beautiful views, great food, great drinks, great company. Overall, great vibes. But we were like, there's just that one thing missing. And that was kayaking in the bay.
Yes. So when I was booking our cruise, there were 2 credentials. Wait, is that the right
Those
word?
Credentials?
There were 2 main things that I
Requirements.
wanted. Requirements. 2 requirements in the booking. The bath. Well, sorry, 3. The shared room.
Yes.
And kayaking on the bay. Because, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Why wouldn't you want to do this?
It's over there. So kayaking was obviously great. It just kind of almost felt like an afterthought because once you're ferried onto the kayak area, they're kind of just like, all right, go over there.
Yeah, you have 1 hour. Do as you please. You have this area.
Which in a really weird way, all that freedom kind of made constraints because it's just like, well, where should we go? Like, don't you have any like insider tips or stuff like that?
Right. Is there anywhere to explore?
Yeah.
A lot of the other cruises that we looked up had like kayaking through caves. And because we had the cave on Kat Ba, I thought, well, we don't need to do that. But we kind of expected a little bit more structure or something to see while kayaking. Obviously, there's the limestone mountains, which we just floated around and stared at for an hour.
No,
which was still great.
Yeah, not complaining.
Not complaining,
Just saying.
but something to consider when you're booking your cruise. And then after the cruise, or after the kayak, it was time to say goodbye. So we had to go back to our rooms and pack up and check out, which also felt a little bit early because it wasn't even noon yet. And we really wanted a full second day on the boat. So
Yeah.
definitely do the 3-day cruise.
100%.
And as they were cleaning up our rooms, they actually did like a little tea ceremony, which was pretty cool. Don't you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Living in Hanoi, we knew a lot about the Vietnamese tea culture. We know how every family, every shop, every person,
Mechanic.
everyone has their own recipe, their own secret.
How long they steep it for, how many leaves they use.
Yes, yeah. So we were pretty well versed in this field, but it was so cool to see them make it, and it was obviously delicious to sip. So like we've said throughout this video, we definitely recommend doing a longer cruise if you're gonna do the cruise. definitely 3 day, 2 nights minimum. If you're gonna explore Ha Long Bay on your own, definitely stay on Cat Ba Island. It is gorgeous. I wish we could have done that as a separate trip, but maybe next time. Our cruise was extremely luxurious, really, really fun. If you enjoyed this video and you like what was done with the Azalea cruise, definitely we recommend it. The only complaint for us is just that it felt a little bit rushed and that we didn't have quite as much time as we wanted. That might have a little bit more to do with our drinking habits than with actual time.
Yeah.
But who knows?
And talking about drinking habits, if you are more of a drinker and partier, I would highly suggest looking up the party cruises. My friend and I, while we were living in China, were actually talking about doing that for one of our vacations there. It is rowdy from what we saw in the videos. And if you're into that, go for it.
Spring break on a cruise in Ha Long Bay. So if you are more of a festive traveler, get on one of those party cruises.
But either way, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to kind of read more in depth about our experience, our recommendations, and what we thought, and just about all of our travels in Vietnam, make sure to follow us on our blog, E and Neeko blog, eandneeko.com. And also check us out on Instagram for more daily posts and kind of recent updates.
Yes.
But either way, y'all, remember.
Stay cool, y'all.
That's our line. Either way, y'all, remember, stay cool, y'all.
Because it's hot in now.